Hey everybody, it's Brittany. Today we will be making a DIY bird's nest, and this is the one that I have already made, and I will be adding some fabric or string or some kind of embellishment to it later on. So what you will need is a pair of wire cutters, a pair of scissors, I believe this is a 4-inch diameter grapevine wreath and a 2-inch diameter grapevine wreath, and then I will be using some of the floral wire that I have used in past videos as the base. So what I'm going to do first is I will be cutting the part of the grapevine wreath that is actually holding it together. So we'll take our scissors and just do that, and then we will unwrap this from the wreath, and you will need to do this to both the 4-inch wreath and the 2-inch wreath. And the hardest thing about working with these wreaths is they kind of get tangled on themselves every now and again, so kind of have to just work with it, play with it. They get tangled to other things too, so that's probably the most annoying part. Alright, so after we have pulled the piece off that is wrapped around the wreath, you will start pulling the wreath apart, just gently tugging at it. It will kind of come undone in layers. So there's one layer, and then again, these will like to get tangled in amongst themselves, so you just kind of have to be patient, work with a little bit. Alright. So there's our large one kind of undone. And then we will start on the small one though. The 2-inch one, I have found the piece that wraps around it is actually wire. So we will need to find a starting point, which I think is right around here somewhere. Gotta talk to the kitty. Alright, there we go. We got that started. And you can actually save this piece, since it is a wire. You can save it to connect the pieces together in a little bit. And we will do the same thing with the smaller one. We'll just kind of pull it apart until it looks like a spring. And there we are. So now what we are going to do is we will take this piece and we will start coiling it around, and you're going to start the quill fairly tightly. So you're just going to start coiling it around, and you can make it oblong, you can make it round. Since this is going to be your bird's nest, you can really do it any way you want to. Bird's nests are relatively freeform since they are made in nature, pretty freeform. Birds pretty much gather whatever they can find in order to make their bird's nest. So when you get this part kind of coiled, we will be adding the 2-inch grapevine wreath to it. So we will be kind of continuing this coil around, and you will have to kind of take the edge of the grapevine wreath and kind of smush it together a little bit. Kind of make it match your coil size, and then we can take a piece of this wire that we just took off of it and cut it down. Now I use the scissors for that, but you can use the wire cutters too. I needed the wire cutters before, so I just kind of kept them on the table. Now I would only use the end of this so that it will be easier to connect it to the coil later on. So you're just kind of going to keep this tight and coil it around. And this will take some hand pressure because these things are used to being, you know, one size. Well, talking to the kitty. Yes, kitty. And you can also take a couple layers and connect it, kind of feed that wire through and around. And then you can take the rest of the wire and wind it around. So now you have the larger coil that is going to fit on top of this smaller coil. So you will now take another piece of the wire that came on the 2-inch diameter, and you'll kind of connect these two together. If I can get that to feed through. There you are. And we got a bit of fluff in there. Sometimes you have to make the crafts realize that they want to work together. Alright, here we go. And so we have the startings there. So now we will need to take our 4-inch and basically do the same thing with your 2-inch. You're going to find probably the inside layer of what was the wreath and start with that, and you will start coiling that around as well. And I hope I am on camera enough for this. I apologize if I'm not. Take another piece of the wire. Or if you have any other wire that you want to use, you can use that as well. This is just what I had coming off of the wreath, and all the other wire that I own is green. And yeah. So we will coil this around, and if you have some places where it just doesn't want to stay in the coil, that is fine. Again, this is freeform. It's not supposed to look like a human did it. It will end up looking somewhat like a human did it because a human did do it, but that's a little bit bigger than I want it to be at the bottom. It's actually going to end up being a lot bigger than I want it to be. Anyway, you just have to play with it and manhandle it a little bit. That's better. And I'm going to end up using the last piece of wire here to kind of lace this together. Maybe. Apologize for not being able to see it because my hands are in the way. Meow. Meow. Well, I've lost the end. There you are. Alright, so we're just going to tie that together and kind of around a little bit. And there we are. Now this one didn't turn out exactly like this one, but that's okay. And you can also, once you have this stuck together, you can kind of play around with it, make it a little bit wider in parts. You can go back in and kind of adjust your coil a little bit. Like I said in the beginning, you can add string to this, yarn. I'm going to add some feathers, anything that you think that a bird would find just sitting there, stray, and they would pick it up and use it in their nest. Can certainly be used in this. And I'm probably going to play around with this some more because I'm not sure I'm exactly happy with it. But anyway, there's the basic idea of how to make your own bird's nest. And they're all different sizes of these grapevine wreaths. You can get, I think the smallest one was the 2-inch, but you have 2-inch, 4-inch, all the way up to probably about 22-inch. They get pretty big. So however large or small you want to make it, it is completely your creation. So thank you for watching, and I will talk to you guys next time. Blessed be.